Just waiting for a few more people just to join in. While you're waiting, if you would like to use a block for your practice or anything that kind of resembles a block, I'll ask for you just to go and grab that now. It can just be anything that can just kind of make your limbs just a little bit longer. You might not need it for your practice. It's just always really nice to have an option for half moon. And I'm gonna actually ask for you to just place it off to the side towards the back of your mat. I know, sounds strange to be moving into half moon from the back of the mat, but that's what we're doing today. It's a different way of entering into the pose. So yeah, grab what you need, grab some water. Hello, welcome.
Hannah's there.
Hannah, yay. Welcome. Nice to, I guess, see you. Or you see me, I don't see you. Yeah, so those of you that are just joining in now, just the option for a block, if you like, or anything that kind of resembles a block, whether that's a book, you can even use your water bottle if you like as well, just to lengthen out your arm a little bit longer if you need it, especially if your hamstrings are a little bit on the tighter side, I feel you. So if you are gonna grab a block, I'm just gonna ask for you to put it just towards the back of your mat off to the side. Yeah, so not directly at the very end of your mat, but just kind of, yeah, just off to the side, just so it's reachable if you do need it.
Just give it a couple more minutes, or a minute.
Yeah, we're just gonna give it another minute for everybody just to get settled, join. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I think it's International Hand Washing Day.
Carl said hi.
Hey, Carl. I ran into Carl on a walk a couple days ago. Welcome. Yeah, just giving everybody just a couple more seconds here just to jump in. Again, those of you that are just joining in, grabbing a block if you like. Again, it's just an option. Just makes the arm just a little bit longer, and like I've already mentioned, just placing it towards the back side of your mat. So towards the long edge of your mat, just on towards the back, just so it's accessible for you. Yeah, okay. I think we're gonna turn off the comments pretty quick here. So of course, if you have any questions, this is the time to kind of fire one off for Janet, and then they're going to be shut off. Okay. All right. So comments are being turned off now, and yeah, welcome, my friends. Laurie from Evolution Pilates and Yoga. As always, I'm super amped to be here to guide you through your practice, doing a little vinyasa flow. There are going to be some times where we're going to be holding poses for a little bit longer, and then of course, times where we're going to speed some stuff up and get the heart rate up as well. Okay, so today's practice, we're going to begin in a child's pose, Balasana. So let's just take our time just to settle into that shape. I'm going to invite you to bring the knees apart and the toes together, and then just begin to settle the hips back towards the heels. And as you do this, I invite you to just bring in a little bit of movement into your body, a little sway of the hips, and slow creeping of the fingertips towards the top of the mat, and then allowing the forehead to touch down. And if it doesn't quite reach, it's okay. You can always place maybe your stacked hands underneath your forehead. If the hips aren't quite getting to the heels today, you can always slide maybe a pillow or a block in between the hips and the heels. And we're just going to invite in a few nice big cleansing breaths here. Nice big inhale in through the nose. filling up the back space. Your exhale to slowly come out through your mouth, sinking into the shape. Let's take a few more. Let's take one last one for the road. And closing the lips, and going to invite you to just seek out the breath that you'll be carrying for your practice today. That might be the breath of Ujjayi that's in your practice to narrow down the back of the throat. Beginning to deliver breath into areas of the body that might be needing it this morning. Filling up your body with fresh prana. Your exhales will allow you to settle in a bit deeper. Shifting from the thinking mind to just being here in this moment on your mat on this Tuesday morning. I invite you to set your intention for today's practice. Beginning to slowly creep the fingertips a little bit further towards the top of your mat, getting long through the side of your body, anchoring down with your hips a bit further here. Just becoming a bit more active in the shape. Getting really nice and big through your hands. Take an inhale to slowly begin to glide your way up into your tabletop. And then we'll just softly begin to arrange the knees underneath the hips, the hands underneath the shoulders, getting animated through each hand. Let's take an inhale for the belly to begin to drop, shining through the collarbones. Exhale to find the rounding of your spine, chin to chest, navel in. Taking a few more of these. And I'm going to invite you to just get really free with your movement here. Yeah, you might decide to sway from side to side. You might decide to draw circles with your rib cage. You can get nice and big through your movements if you like. Or you can stay with your cat-cow as well. I like to work with a little bit of a curve through the spine, so maybe even shifting the gaze towards your heel as you kind of sway your rib cage to the other side. We're just pairing up some movement. You can allow the eyes to close to really feel in here. Let the elbows be soft. Keeping everything nice and equal. Whatever you did on one side, making sure you do it on the other. Finding yourself back to center. And then we're just going to flip the right fingertips to point towards you to find a nice wrist stretch on the right side. Yeah, just noticing what's happening in the forearm here. You might begin to just kind of lean back a little bit. Keep some softness through your elbow. Just awakening little parts of the body that just kind of tend to be neglected. So let's just kind of send that breath, that fresh energy into those tight areas. Let's flip the hand back forward and we'll find that on the other side. Noticing the subtle differences. Really pulling your inhales into the bottom of your lungs, finding depth. Letting your exhales really soften you. Let's find that hand back forward. We're going to tuck one foot under and then the other to meet into high plank. Stacking the shoulders over top of the wrist, the gaze is down towards the mat. Like I always say, oftentimes I see people looking at their feet in this pose. I promise you they're still there. So just kind of shift the gaze a little bit ahead of the hands, just so we can keep the back of the neck nice and long. I'm just going to keep on talking while you hold this pose. Keep softness through the elbows. You can certainly have the knees bent down to the mat as well. Steady cycles of breath. You might start shaking. You're doing it right. Pulling those inhales into the bottom of the lungs, really filling up. And complete exhales. Inhale your knees down to the earth. Broaden through the collarbones, and as you exhale, slowly begin to lower down. Keep your shoulders back. Unravel your feet when you arrive. Tops of the feet root in. Kneecaps lift. Take an inhale, peel your heart forward and up. Keep it small. Exhale, lower the heart back down. 2 more. Inhale, rise on up. Exhale, melt on down. Last one. Hook the toes, press up to your table, and exhale your way into downward facing dog. First down dog of the practice. Take a moment here just to pedal things out. Taking your dog for a little walk here. Let the head fall heavy in between the arms. Let the upper back become broad as you wrap your triceps under. Eventually, the movement begins to slow and you might begin to find stillness in your dog for just a couple breaths here. Maybe you're lifting up both heels on an inhale. Your exhales, perhaps finding the heels to surrender back down to the mat. Just relishing into a nice stretch here of the back line of your body. Softly we look to the hands and then take your walk up to the top to find your way into your first forward fold. Feet are hip distance. Allow the head to drop. Gaze comes in between the legs. Shoulders belt away from the ears. Navel is drawn in. So yeah, the hamstrings are really tight today. We're just going to invite a nice deep bend into them. Right? Allows for a bit more freedom into the back. Slowly begin to roll your way up to stand, one vertebra at a time to eventually meet in the pose of Tadasana at the top of your mat. Shoulders back and down, head coming up last. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then as you exhale, begin to draw the elbows out to the sides of the room. As you draw the elbows in towards your sides, maybe a slight look up towards the sky. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Hands can come to the shins here. And then exhale, we'll root the palms and step one foot back and then the other to your plank. So once again, we pause here. Couple breaths. Generating some heat We'll take an inhale to glide forward to the toes. Exhale to glide back. Inhale, glide forward, navel is in. Exhale it back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Option to drop down to the knees. Exhale, lower down. Unravel the feet. Take an inhale for your cobra. Exhale, lower the heart. Press back up, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. A little bit more open here, getting stretchy throughout the beginning of our practice here. Look to the hands and find your way into your fold. Find your halfway lift, inhale, long spine. Exhale, surrender into your fold. Inhale, rise on up, spread through the collarbones, reach. Exhale, find that W shape with your arms. Draw the elbows in towards your sides. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find length, halfway. Exhale, chaturanga, lower down. Inhale for your back bend, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, we meet. Inhale to lower the heels down to the earth. Exhale to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale to find length, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, draw the elbows out, heart up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find length, halfway. It's a big inhale because we're going right into chaturanga as we exhale. Upward facing dog or cobra, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog, we meet. Look to your hands, find your way into your fold. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, elbows in, heart lifts. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Big inhale, halfway. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look to your hands, soften your knees and find your way into fold. Inhale to find length. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise. This is our last one. Exhale, elbows to sides, heart lifts. Inhale, reach. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, find length. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Look to the hands. Find your way into your fold. Inhale to find length, halfway. Exhale to fold back in. Begin to settle your hips down. You can have your feet together or apart, doesn't matter. We're going to sink into chair, Utkatasana. Carry the arms. Think of drawing the navel in, the tailbone down, lifting the heart, and settling through the hips. See if you can relax your shoulders a bit here. Breathe. Pulling those inhales right to the deepest part of your lungs. Your exhales will soften you. Take one more breath, inhale. Exhale, find your fold. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for your back bend. Exhale, downward loving dog. An inhale finds the right leg to lift. An exhale takes the knee in towards the chest. Inhale it back. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. And take it on back. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Hug it in, pause. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale it back. Step it to the top of the mat. High lunge when you're ready. Take an inhale to rise on up. Exhale, settle in. Relax your shoulders. Back heel is lifted. Square the hips. And we're here. We're in it. We're breathing. You might even be smiling. Sides of the waist are long. Pulling the breath deep within. Back heel is lifted. Front foot is rooted. Front knee is over that front ankle. We got 2 more breaths. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to twist towards the right, spreading wide through your arms. Right fingertips are back, left fingertips are forward. Slow and steady. Inhale, back to center. Arms reach. Exhale, warrior 2. Spin your back foot on its side and settle to your hips here. So we got that front heel right through the middle of the back arch. Front knee is pointing straight forward. Gazing through the middle fingers. Drawing back through your pinkies. Slow and steady. Flip your front palm, inhale. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Still keeping the integrity of the legs here. Breathing into the ribs. Breathing into the waistline. Inhale, back up into warrior 2. Pause. Take your inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the hands to the top of the mat. Step back for high plank. Pausing here, breathe. Remember the opportunity to drop the knees. Inhale to glide forward, exhale to lower. Upward facing dog or cobra, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. We take a moment here. Acquaint yourself with your breath. Releasing tension through your face. Releasing tension in the shoulders. Making sure that the hands are spread wide. Left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, back. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. And back. And then take it over towards the right and pause. Breathe. Twist. Squeeze. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, back. Exhale, step it through. Preparing for high lunge on this side. Take an inhale, rise on up. Exhale, settle. We got some time here. Make sure that you've trusted into that foundation. So you've got the strong front foot rooted in equally from all 4 corners. We've got the back heel lifted, opening through the sole of that back foot. Knowing that at any time the shoulders start to get tired, you can always take your hands to your heart, you can take your hands to your hips. Focusing on that ujjayi breath. Take your inhale. Exhale, begin to twist towards the left, reaching through each fingertip. Twisting from your center. You've got it, my friends. Last breath. Inhale back to center, sweep the arms up. Exhale, open up, warrior two, sink in. Few generous breaths right here, feeding the body with your oxygen. Draw the elbows or the pinky fingers back just a little bit. Gaze point over the fingertips. Inner thighs are ignited. Front knee pointing straight forward, and you should still be able to see your first 3 toes on your foot, on that left foot. Inhale, flip your front palm. Exhale, reverse. Breathe. Making sure that that left knee didn't drop towards the left or towards the right side of the room. We want to make sure that we're pointing straight forward. Inhale back into warrior two. Pause for your exhale. Inhaling. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Whew. Yeah, a little shake out of the legs here. Look to the hands. Soften through your knees and find your way into your fold. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold. So we're going to flow through that with our breath now. So we're going to be moving with each inhale and exhale. We're going to go through it twice. Now, if you can't keep up, it's all good. It's only yoga, so don't take it too seriously, right? And do what you can. If you find that you're quite a bit behind, it's all good. You'll catch up. We'll give you some time at the end. Just let the breath flow in and out here. Give yourself a moment. Let's bring the feet together or apart, depends on how you like to find your chair. Begin to settle the hips back in. Take an inhale, carry the arms on up. Exhale, settle in. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find length, halfway. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale it back. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. And back. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. And back. Step it to the top. Inhale, we rise, high lunge. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, open, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, back. Exhale, left to left elbow. And back. Right to right. And back. Step to the top. And we rise for high lunge. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, warrior two, it's like a dance. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, sorry, messed up this breath here. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Heart pump in action there. Really pulling that breath into your lungs, nice and full. We're going to dance one more time. Look to your hands, find your way into your fold. Inhale to find length. Exhale, fold back in. Sink your hips, carry the arms, inhale. Exhale, settle the hips a little bit more. Inhale, exhale, fold. Great big inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, lower through chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, find your right leg to lift. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale it back. Exhale, right to right and back. Left or over towards the left and back. Step forward and inhale takes you up to rise, high lunge. Exhale, twist towards the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, open up, warrior two. And reverse your warrior. Find your way through your chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. I promise you this is our only last round here. I promise there's no more. Let's take the left leg to lift, inhale. Exhale, knee in towards the chest and back. Left elbow to knee and back. Towards the right, back. Step forward, high lunge, inhale. Exhale, open towards the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for your back bend. Exhale, downward loving dog. Woo! All right, let's take the knees down. Unravel the toes. Sink back towards your heels. Child's pose, opportunity for water. Opportunity to curse me maybe a little bit. It's okay, I can take it. Breathe. We don't have the heat on in the room, so this is our way of building that internal fire, right? Stoking that internal flame. Rise on up into tabletop. Big hands, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Melting the heart towards the thighs. Maybe a couple drops of sweat coming off of the brow now. Definitely is for me. I don't know about you guys at home. I like it. All right, let's lift the heels up, inhale. And then as you exhale, bend your knees until they float just a couple inches off the mat. Gaze shifts forward. We're in a floating table. Exhale, back into downward facing dog. Inhale, floating table. Shoulders back. Exhale from the navel, downward facing dog. Last one, inhale and exhale. I lied. Last one, bend, hover, hold. Drop your knees. Extend the right leg behind you. Squaring the hips, toes pointing down towards the mat. Taking the left hand to reach forward. Now everyone's different here. If you need to untuck your left toes for the time being, go for it. Yeah, if it feels better, I'm more comfortable with the toes tucked, but you do you. Stick with what's more comfortable in your body. You can certainly even cushion up your left knee here as well. So we're pausing here, we're reaching through the fingers, we're reaching through that heel. Press actively into your right hand so we're not collapsing through the shoulder here. Option to stay. Option to bend into your right knee and reach back with your left hand and kick into that foot. or cook into your hand with your foot here. Yeah, the gaze can shift forward a little bit, keeping the heart open. Steady breath. Slowly begin to release. Reach. Release the left hand. Tuck your left toes, take an inhale. Exhale, three-legged dog. Step forward with your right foot and lower your back knee down to the mat. So the left knee is dropping. You can drop it back down onto a soft place here. And then sink forward as you inhale. Complete exhale. Inhaling. And then as you exhale, this time begin to curl the left toe or right toes up. Walk the hands back in a little bit, maybe square the hips and breathe into the back of that right leg. Finding some space here. Begin to drag that heel back in. Root back into the right foot. Charge up through your back leg. Flatten your palms. Step back, high plank. All right, 3 push-ups. You can drop the knees down if you like here. Inhale to lower. Exhale, press back up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, up. Last one. Inhale, lower, hold. 3, 2, 1. Press back up. And optional vinyasa. We will meet in downward facing dog. Whew. That was spicy. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, soften through the knees. Glide forward. And then we're in that floating table position again. Pause. Option to lift the right foot. Pressing into the mat, make sure you're not collapsing your shoulders. Lower your right foot back down. Option to lift the left foot. Lower it back down. Lower the knees. Yeah. And then we're going to extend the left leg out. Toes pointing down. Right arm forward. Pausing here. Active through the left hand, press the mat away, find that lift through your shoulder. Option to reach back with the right hand for the left foot and begin to find that kick and that open shoulder. Slowly we release. Hand comes back down to the earth, tuck your right toes under, 3-legged dog. Step forward and lower the right knee down to the mat. Inhale, sink in. Pause for your exhale. Take your inhale. Exhale, begin to walk it on back, taking your left toes to the sky. Flexing through the foot. Right hip forward, left hip back. You can certainly bend this knee as much as you need. You can also place your hand on an elevated surface, a block, a book. Softly we begin to root back into the left foot, flatten the palms, lift up your back leg, step back for high plank. Remember, you can opt out of these things too, right? You can just meet in down dog, you can take a child's pose if you like, or 3 more push-ups. You can do them on your knees. Inhale, lower, exhale, up. Inhale, lower, exhale, up. Last one, and up. Optional vinyasa, we meet in downward facing dog. Okay, so I think we're all ready and warmed up for Ardha Chandrasana and a half moon. We're moving into it a little bit different today. So if you were joining us a little bit later today, you might not have heard me when I said that you might need a block. If your block isn't towards the back, let's see here, back left side of your mat right now, just bring it towards the back left, towards where your foot is. So those of you that have a wall behind you, you might want to creep forward a little bit with your down dog, just so it gives you a little bit more space. Okay, so from here we're going to lift the right leg to lift. Okay, square the hips. Pause here. Three-legged dog. Begin to walk your hands back towards your foot until they come underneath your shoulders. Now, this is where the block will come into play as an option. You can place your block underneath your left hand. We're going to begin to stack the right hip over top of the left, and then carry the right hand up towards the sky. Now flare through your toes, flex your foot. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Moving into it a little bit different. Slow and steady with your breath. You've got two more. Keep the navel in. Keep shining through your limbs, all of them. Slowly release the right hand to the earth. Square the hips off. Feet come to touch. Forward fold. Ooh. Pulling the breath in. Let's take the hands to interlace at the low back. Draw your shoulders together. This might be enough for you, otherwise you might allow the hands to sail up overhead towards the sky. Really relax your head. Release the hands to the low back. Let them glide down to the earth. Take an inhale, find length halfway. Exhale, walk forward, high plank. Right hand slightly centered forward. Rotate to open into Vashisthasana, side plank pose. Yeah. So if you need added support in here, you added support. You might decide to bend. Apparently I don't know how to talk anymore. Yoga brain. We can drop the bottom knee down just to keep it just a little bit less on that wrist. Just a little bit more assistance. Rotate back down into high plank. Optional vinyasa. Downward facing dog. You might need to reach for your block and place it over towards the right side. A little bit more accessible for that half moon if you know you need it. Again, if you have a wall behind you, you might creep forward a little bit. Left leg lifts. Get established in your three-legged dog first. Begin to walk your hands back until they're underneath the shoulders. Kind of like a warrior three with the hands down, or kind of like a standing split almost. Yeah. So right hand will come to your block, optional. And then begin to get active through the left foot, square off the hips, or I guess square the hips off towards the left side of the room, and then begin to stack. Breathe. I find gaze down to the mat helps with the balance, and shine through your fingers, your toes, your crown. You guys are doing so good. We're getting close to that wind down now. Slowly, let's take the left hand down. Square the hips off. Find your fold. This time, take your peace fingers and wrap them around your big toes. So feet are hip distance apart. Padagustasana, or Padagustasana. Elbows flare out to the sides of the room and drop your head. Let's take an inhale for a halfway lift. Let the heart shine forward. Exhale, fold and surrender. Release your feet and begin to walk the hands back forward, meeting back into that high plank. Left hand slightly centered forward, rotating onto the edge of the feet to find your way into Vashisthasana, side plank pose on the other side. Remembering the option is to drop that bottom knee down. Right hand comes back down to the earth. Square the shoulders. Option to go into child's pose. Option, vinyasa. Upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a child's pose for just a couple breaths here. Sinking the hips back. Taking that moment here to curse me again. Plugging in through the palms, find your way into your down dog. Don't worry, nothing crazy happening here. Let's take the right leg to lift. We're going to take the right knee towards the right wrist, finding the right foot towards the left wrist, and we're just going to settle into our pigeon. You might need a block underneath your right hip, especially if you're finding that today it's just feeling a little bit on the tighter side. You might choose to come all the way down onto your elbows right away. If you have king pigeon in your practice, or one-legged king pigeon in your practice, and you'd like to take that variation, you can begin to walk the hands back so they're a little bit closer towards the hips. Keeping your back toes tucked under for the time being, just so we can find some lift. Yeah, so I'm pretty much standing on my knees at this point. Keep your right foot flexed. Yeah, we want to make sure that we have this hugging in quality, right? We're not sinking into the hips as much in this variation. Option to bend into the left knee. Option to reach back with the left hand to grasp onto your foot. And this might be exactly where you need to stay. If the balance is there, you might take the right arm to reach on up. Maybe even finding your mudra of thumb and index to connect. See how that feels. If you have taking the elbow or the foot into the crook of your elbow, you might find your full variation by clasping the hands. When you're ready to release, we're just going to meet down onto our elbows for about 4, 5, 6 breaths. Yeah, it's really up to you how much you take here, right? You can always ignore me and stay for longer, of course. Slowly we'll begin to walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Again, if you need longer there, please take it. Flatten the palms, tuck the back toes under, lift up into down dog. For my spicy friends, you can go for another vinyasa here. Yeah, go for it. I'll give you guys a moment. I myself have had enough. That's enough vinyasa for today. Let's take the left leg to lift. Inhale. Exhale, left knee to left elbow or left wrist, bringing your foot towards your right wrist, and we're just going to begin to sink in here. Now remember that both sides are very different, and you might not have needed to block for underneath your hip on the other side, but maybe this side might be a little bit tighter, or vice versa, right? So honor thy body. Just take a moment. Check in with this side, see what's going on. Again, The option is to go down onto your elbows right away, really find that really nice big deep stretch that pigeon offers up. Otherwise, king pigeon is available. Begin to take the hands underneath the shoulders and get really lifted up into the hips. Hug everything in as if your hips were just really strong and holding you right up, which they are. Okay, so option to stay here. This is great. Working on this part is so important. Bend your back knee if you like, reaching back with your right hand to clasp onto the pinky toe edge of your foot. Or actually, nope, it's the big side, big toe of your right foot. I can look back to make sure. Okay, option to stay here. Option if the balance is there to maybe lift up the left hand and maybe find that mudra. To go further still, you might take the foot into the crook of the elbow and you might work towards clasping hands. Really depends on how flexible your quad is on that right side. And shoulder, of course, on the left. When you're ready to release, do so slowly. Unravel. Elbows can come down. Slow and steady breath here into this side. Hands come back underneath the shoulders. We're going to press up into down dog one last time. Little pedal out of the legs. Little sway from side to side with the hips perhaps. Again, my spicy friends might go through another vinyasa if you want to flush it all out with that. And we're going to eventually meet down on our bottoms, so I'm going to invite you to find your way there. However you want to get there. I'm going to bend the knees. Let them set down onto the mat. We're going to cross the ankles behind, roll over the legs, and find your way onto your bottom. Okay. So I'm going to meet down onto our backs. Sip of water might be in order first. Take your time. Actually, I can have a sip of my green juice. Take your time, coming on down. Invite the knees lovingly in towards the heart. Lengthen the back of your neck. A little rock from side to side perhaps here. It's like sending little loving messages to your body that we're pretty darn close to being done here. Getting closer and closer to that Shavasana. We all have earned that, that's for sure. Okay. Taking the arms out to T, find the legs to table. Inhaling here at center, engage your core. Exhale, drop take the knees over towards the right side. Yeah. Couple breaths into your twist here. You can take the gaze towards the left if the neck is okay with that. Otherwise, kicking the gaze towards the sky. Maybe you're shutting down the eyes and directing that nice breath that we cultivated through our practice here just into the spine. Gaze back towards the ceiling. Navel in, inhale back through center, exhale to the left. Same offerings go here. Find your way back to center. Last big hug of the knees in towards the chest, maybe even forming a small ball, bringing the forehead in. And then Shavasana. My friends, lengthen out, take space. Flip the palms up, relax the shoulders. Bring your feet mat distance, maybe even further. Relaxing from the top of the head to the tips of your toes. Breath comes back to its normal rhythm. And this beautiful weather kind of shifting in here, beautiful May weather. You might even envision yourself in a hammock or your favorite lawn chair, maybe even the grass, a blanket on the grass. Sinking in and feeling that warm sun just beaming down. Friends, usually I would love for a longer Shavasana here, and if you'd like to take it, I invite you to stay down on your back. But because with our Instagram Live, I have to cut it a little bit shorter. So again, stay down if you need. Otherwise, begin to lovingly, once again, take the knees in towards the heart. Rock your way up to a seat. Take a moment just to allow the eyes to close down for a moment, bring the hands to the heart. Last breath here into the heart space. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. As always, my friends, it is a true pleasure. Until next we meet, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.